Welcome everyone to a very, very special episode of Drink While You Think. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Kenji.
I'm Matthew. And I'm Wayne.
And I know that you're probably thinking, everyone who's watching this is seeing, I'm looking at Matthew sitting next to the future version of Matthew. Holy cow. Like, you just need to grow out a mustache, Matthew. You age a little bit and get a little bit more handsome. And I think, you're looking just like your dad.
Yeah, you'll probably hear some familiar sayings come out of his mouth that I stole and have made my own over the years. So.
This is fantastic. All right, because, it's that kind of show. I guess we first just go ahead and get into kind of what we're drinking here, right?
Yeah.
So what do you got?
I'm drinking Corona.
Oh, okay. Okay, well,
Now, I was drinking Corona before it was popular because I'm from El Paso, Texas, and Corona was the cheap beer. And then somebody made it popular. Now I can't hardly afford it.
They got some kind of good Corona news today, by the other Corona, right? They got the one of the drugs is going to the FDA today, so they're for the vaccines. So
is that the Pfizer one?
The Pfizer one's going to. So let's hope they get this thing knocked out of here. And all we're talking about is Corona beer anymore, and not the dang virus.
There you go. I'm tired of talking about Corona virus. I'm drinking what Kenji's drinking. Kenji sent this and pre-prepped me for it. So these are from our friends at Monday Night Brewing.
Yeah, we got these.
What are we drinking here?
It's a local brewery, right? We drink Monday Night a lot. This one is it's a brown ale, but it's aged in bourbon barrels. It's got coffee, vanilla. I think this is kind of a Matthew type of beer. This is kind of the beers that Matthew likes. It's kind of got a coffee thing to it, whatever. I don't know, Matthew. Take a little sip. What do you think?
He's fancy. He drinks out of a glass. I drink out of a glass. Oh, I see.
I even drink Corona out of a glass, Wayne. I mean, just
is that right? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Not really.
Yeah, this is definitely my kind of beer.
You gotta be a little careful. You see how much is it? It's a 13.5. This
one, like in the initial taste, I almost wish they hadn't done the maple bourbon barrel with the coffee and vanilla. Like, I would rather just be the maple bourbon barrel or the coffee and vanilla.
Well, I think it's getting it. It's got I think this one also gets the breakfast theme. I think they've got maple syrup in it too. Like, actually,
wow. So
I think it's a little sweet.
It's got a lot going on.
But it's interesting.
Okay. It's a Matthew kind of beer, though.
Well, cheers to the Wayne
cheers.
Matthew. They're having Wayne here. I don't want to talk any accounting stuff on the spectator. Now they have Wayne here, but Matthew's been making you work all day. What's been going on, Mike? What are you guys doing over there?
He invited me to come for a couple of weeks, and normally I have a 3-day rule. Go with relatives. It's only a 3-day rule, but he said a couple of weeks. So I get over here and he wants me to move a bathroom.
Move a bathroom.
So we're moving a bathroom. It's in my defense, we're only moving it like 8 feet. That's right, only 8 feet. But it's a little past my construction skill set. So I little known fact, my dad drew, designed, and built our house I grew up in. So like everything from the ground up. So
you're the right kind of handyman right there. I mean,
Well, that's the only reason I'm here for 2 weeks. That's not true, because he would be here for 3 days if his grandkids weren't here. Yeah.
Grandkids as well too. That's for sure.
I played the Grammy card, and I told Grammy she could stay for 2 weeks, and then then out of the kindness of my heart, I created a project for my dad so he wasn't bored. There you go.
Have you helped out at all yet, Matthew? A little bit? Not at all?
No, I'm helping out tomorrow.
Okay.
So actually, I thought he wasn't going to start till today. He started on Thursday, though. I thought we'd do more planning on Thursday, but he's ready.
Okay. So the house you grew up in El Paso,
yeah,
Wayne, you built it. I mean, was that just kind of a recurring project? You work on it all the time, or do you knock it all out at once? Or
no? Well, it took me from the time we started building the house, it took us 3 years to move in. So we started before Matthew was born, and we didn't move in until his brother was born.
Huh.
And then we only moved into half the house. And so by the time Ben was born, my third son, we finished the house, or finished where we could live in it, the whole thing. So
Yeah,
it took a while.
my first bedroom in the house was the chimney.
Wait, say that again?
My first bedroom in the house was the chimney because I was in a baby carriage,
Oh,
like
yeah.
a baby.
The bassinet kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So they could put me in the chimney because it was the most protected from all the wind and stuff like that.
El Paso has a little bit of wind in the spring. We have great weather, but in spring we have sandstorms. So when we were building it, Matthew was in when we were starting to put the framing up, the only protected place we had was inside the chimney because the chimney was up and inside the fireplace. So in his little baby carrier, he would sit in there because you know how babies, when the wind blows, it takes their breath away. And so we would Matthew spent his time while we were working on the house in the fireplace. Till we got the house closed in.
There you go. I mean, that's, man.
Yeah.
And that's the same house y'all are in today, right?
We're living there today. I'm too lazy to build another one.
Well, I mean, you know, it's impressive. Matthew doesn't quite have that, but I mean, he's got the chicken coop. You know, you saw the chicken coop, but he's done a pretty good job on the coop.
That is an impressive, I have never seen it. That's the best looking chicken coop I've ever seen my whole life.
It's pretty impressive. And now,
It is.
where are we on the egg count, Matthew?
We're right around, we broke probably 70 eggs this week. We had 6 today.
So the number of eggs is way past the number of rodents you caught, right? So
Yeah, we only have 9 rodents.
you beat that goal. Okay, that's good. Okay.
The nice thing, we haven't had a rodent for 2 weeks. So
I think you're on the other side of this thing. I think that's good up there.
I tell you what, the cool weather helped with the rodents and the flies. So that's a good thing. So
There you go. There you go. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit of accounting. Now Matthew, you and I submitted our PPP forgiveness this week.
that's right.
And you guys, Wayne, in your business, you guys have already submitted. You guys did the PPP, is that right?
We already submitted and got approved.
All right.
So ours is done.
So they were the first people we knew of to get approved and for forgiveness, and the first one at the bank that they use.
Oh, really?
So
Yeah, at our bank, we were the first ones to file the application and the first one to get approved for the forgiveness.
Holy cow. You guys are quick.
Not what I did, is what Ben did, because I don't do anything anymore there.
That's why he's our hero. Matthew and I are trying to get to that point little by little, but you know, we got a ways to go before we get to that. But
Well, that took me, I have just retired, so that took me 55 years. So
oh man, that's it.
there. I
Well-
don't really like it though, because I feel guilty when I wake up in the morning with no place to go. So I haven't adjusted yet.
Okay. Well, I mean, your oldest son there is doing a pretty good job of keeping you busy, though. It sounds like he's got you, back into carpentry skills and all kind.
Yeah, if he keeps this up, I'll be fine.
So Matthew, for those of us, so we submitted this week. Wayne and Ben, those guys got theirs already forgiven. There's a lot of people talking about it this week because there was a little bit of some new clarifications. I guess the IRS talking about it. You want to give a quick update on?
yeah, so there were some tax advisors telling people to wait till next year so they could take the deduction for the expenses this year and then figure out next year to do some kind of cash flow arbitrage, but the IRS squashed that this week. They said, if you plan on filing for forgiveness, you cannot deduct your expenses.
Yeah.
So now we're just left at we're hoping that in the lame duck Congress session, they pass something in the stimulus, they pass some sort of stimulus and hopefully they have a level 2 PPP coming through, but hopefully they don't do this silly thing where this is going to be taxable and they fix that.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful actually that this will draw some attention to it. So they put that in that bill.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can agree on anything no, in Washington,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
hopefully they do.
it's going to be tough. Do you think though that one thing I was thinking about, so they kind of came in and doubled down and said, no, not deductible. Doesn't matter which year you do it in. Is that also, you think, an indication of like they really are expecting everything to get forgiven. Is that a fair?
I think they are, but I think it's gonna. I wish they had just made this a grant, but I don't know. I guess maybe they had to issue it too fast to make it a grant for people, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, well, we'll see. I think it's going to pick up. People are going to start the submissions going quick. At least our bank told us when we filed this week, they are starting to see it pick up a bit, and it's probably not going to be nearly as quick as it was for Wayne and Ben, who got theirs through quick. They're saying they're now starting to backlog a little bit. So
Yeah,
it's going to be.
There's an advantage to being first on that one.
Yeah.
There's a first mover advantage on that for sure.
Because they were, I mean, the turnaround there was less than a week with the SBA.
Really quick, yeah.
That was pretty great.
I think the experiences are sounding like they're going to be different for pretty much everybody, really depending on the bank, right? Because Matthew and I are at Chase, and they have a portal they've built and all this stuff, and we have to go do a Zoom meeting like this with our banker and go through the whole process. And she told us that apparently every bank is kind of doing it differently. The SBA gave them a mandate to kind of build their own process. So I guess it's going to be pretty different how everybody goes through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were with a local bank, not a real big bank.
Yep.
And they were learning as we were learning. And so it was basically everybody was reading what was coming out and doing it all. And they were doing it for the first time and we were doing it for the first time.
Yeah.
And the same on the forgiveness. It was, we're kind of both learning together.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be interesting for sure. So.
And we saw it across the board where the local banks just killed the big banks on execution.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we actually, it was funny. We talked about Armor, which is your and Ben's business. We kind of used you guys a lot because you were some of the first applications, some of the first through I mean, honestly, probably got to be one of the quicker turnarounds on this whole loan that I've heard of almost any small business. So y'all were easily on the.
It seemed pretty quick to me.
Yeah, really quick on that. So
we did help their bank a little with our forgiveness thing at the beginning. So hopefully with the calculator. So, but it was great. We were trying as much as possible to help everybody.
Yeah, but you saying though that you could have been a little bit biased, Matthew. There may have been some family biases of trying to help, helping everybody. But when it comes to
he didn't want me going broke and moving in with him. He did everything he could.
Well, until the bathrooms moved. After the bathrooms moved, you got some political capital.
Oh man. Another big thing going on in our households for me and Matthew, I guess also for y'all too, is any news on University of Georgia?
Oh, I haven't heard today yet.
We haven't heard either.
So we're supposed to hear back, but 2 acceptances. I don't know if I've told you the second one, but Seton Hall, accepted to Seton Hall and accepted to University of Delaware. So 2 acceptances, and so that's really exciting. My son's on a trip, much to the dismay of his grandparents right now, but he's coming back this weekend from the Northeast, and he's hit like half a dozen schools so far. He had all the North Carolina colleges. He went to your alma mater. Wake Forest is in the list. But one other thing, George Mason got added to our list because he went to George Mason.
You liked it, huh?
And George Mason, he is now applying to. So we're back at 11 applications.
Okay. Yeah, it's exciting. So for us, Matthew and I here in Georgia with our oldest boys who are seniors, this is the big day for the state school. University of Georgia is letting people know on the early acceptance side. So today's the day. We hadn't heard yet either. I kind of went through the kitchen and asked my son, I'm like, how's it looking? And he kind of I've been checking the emails all day long, Dad. He kind of was like, stop talking about it. I think he's a little nervous. So, but I don't think Georgia sent him out yet. So here we are. I think the kids are all just checking it nonstop. So
I didn't know when that was or if that was official that it was coming out today. I heard that was the target date. So
remind me again, you had I think you used it to some extent with Tipton. I thought you said when you were in high school, and I don't know if this was something that, Wayne and Patty helped you with, but like, didn't you have a certain kind of like approach for like, there was a certain number of schools you were doing for colleges and how you did it, kind of what you
made me apply to 6.
Okay. 6.
I did 1 safety school, one Reach and 4 other schools. So, and then after we got in, he took me around to all the ones I got into. I got into 5 out of 6. So
Okay.
I did not get into my stretch school.
What was your stretch school?
Rice.
Rice. Oh, great school. Yeah. So, but all yours were Texas?
All 5 were in Texas. So
I mean, I would.
By the way, he picked the most expensive one.
no, I didn't. I didn't actually. Trinity was more expensive. It was the second most expensive.
Second most expensive. Okay.
I'd say the second most expensive. So yeah, we got it down to Trinity, which is in San Antonio, Southwestern, which is somewhere around Austin, San Antonio, and Baylor.
Okay.
And then my college roommate is my cousin, so he talked me into going to Baylor. So, which is good because that ended up with meeting Laura and then grandkids. So you're okay with that now?
You know, I guess
Yeah.
it worked out. So, but I know Laura's family, long line of Baylor folks, but were you
4th generation?
he's 4th generation? Holy cow. But what about you? Did you have other family members at Baylor for you?
No, I went to the school that had the green uniforms. In 1966, I was drafted into the Army. It was a year out after graduation of high school.
Yeah, you told me. Yeah, he went to UTEP for 1 year,
Okay.
and then he said he always told me I made the dean's list, but the wrong dean's list. And then he went to Army and went to Vietnam. Right?
That's how I got my education.
There
It
you
was
go.
a very good education.
That's a good one for sure. So a year.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he
Did
doesn't
you,
recommend doing it during wartime though.
yeah, it's probably
It was not a good time not to go to school.
no. It was not. My dad's was somewhat well. He was in it around the same time. His was a little different, but yeah, he was Air Force, but while he was doing his medical degree, so he was stationed here on this so pretty different. But
That's kind of cheating.
it is kind of, yeah. Oh, he said it. He said back in the day, you knew that if you were actually in medical school, if you actually enlisted versus got drafted, you can kind of pick how you wanted to do it. I was actually born on a strategic air command base in the Air Force when he was up there serving. But yeah, we were up here in USI. But so you,
But did you know Dad lived in Savannah? He was stationed in Savannah. Was
really?
it before or after the war?
After Vietnam, I was stationed in Hinesville, Georgia,
Yeah.
which was a training base for helicopter pilots going to Vietnam. I spent 15 months in Georgia, in Hinesville, Georgia.
I thought Matthew was the first May to come to Georgia. I guess not.
I followed him.
Yeah, yeah. So was UTEP one of your schools, Matthew, or were you out of El Paso?
UTEP was my safety school.
Okay, safety school. Okay. You didn't want to stay? You didn't want,
They didn't want me to stay, I don't think. I think they wanted me to grow up a little bit. I was pretty responsible, but I think they wanted me to grow up a little bit.
I have a feeling, yeah, I kind of I thought this would be fun to kind of dig into funny stories or troublemaking stories about Matthew, but I have a feeling, Wayne, that he was probably he probably was pretty responsible, pretty straight and narrow.
So I had 3 boys and I was really worried, what am I going to do? Because I kept thinking back to myself. And I thought, I don't think I can stand that. But I was so lucky that all my 3 boys were very responsible. So, I still apologize to my parents for how I acted back then. And, I keep apologizing, but you just can't do enough after you put your parents through that kind of stuff. So, no, I was very lucky.
Well, I think if we ever do this with my parents, it'll be a little bit different with their 3 sons. I also was the oldest of 3 boys. Matthew and I have, it is pretty crazy how many similarities Matthew and I have. So many crazy similarities. But I was probably a little bit more like you, Wayne. I think me and my 3 brothers, I still to this day do a lot of apologizing to my mom and dad for how I acted. So, yeah.
Well, when I graduated high school, I ran off to California in a rock and roll band. And so I failed to register for college, so that if you were not registered in college, you were automatically drafted if you lived in El Paso, Texas.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, your dad, Matthew, is much more fun to hang out with than you.
I knew that. Yeah, I have the singles. He did. Like we have a record. Yeah, my favorite is "Why Am I So Blue." I love that one. I like that better than on the other side. There's like more of a Beach Boy kind of one. What was the Beach Boy one?
I try to forget that. I'm trying to block that part of my life.
Oh, I
out.
actually like the song. I like they're saying that Dad did bass. Dad played bass.
I was gonna say, okay, the bass. He's a bass player. Oh yeah, he's got to have the.
Where does the strong, steady guy go in a band? He's the bass guy.
Bass?
Or the Kenji son is a drummer.
Okay.
You could have been a drummer too. You could have kept the beat.
I mean, you got to do. Oh my gosh, Matthew. So yeah, you were definitely on the straight and narrow. I mean, here's Wayne running off to become the next version of the Beach Boys, and holy cow. Yeah.
The middle child did go to move to Los Angeles at some point. His middle child to make a movie. So at least that was the closest that came to like doing something crazy. But again, never did anything crazy really. So.
Well, I went back. How long ago was it, Matthew, when you and I went back to Baylor? Well, we were in Texas. We didn't get all the way down to El Paso, a little far away, but we went through Baylor, and we were with some of your college roommates. And I did the same thing. I said, "Oh, you got to tell me all the crazy, funny stories about Matthew. I'm just dying to hear them." And they kind of looked at me and said, "No, there's not really any. There's just
nothing."
I'm like, you guys are killing me. You guys are killing me on this. So
yeah, that was about 5 years ago. We did that one.
that was a great trip. Yeah.
That was a great trip.
We saw some good football back then. We got
Oh yeah, that was when Baylor was playing Tecmo Bowl, where they scored on every play.
Art Briles still coaching there, right? He was still coaching.
Yeah, that was like it was still. I think they scored 60 points that day or something.
They were playing Rice. Like Matthew, you wanted to see that new stadium, and they were playing Rice. They were just. I mean, it was a little bit embarrassing. They were just killing them. But
yeah,
it was a fun day out there. So Matthew, or I guess, are you guys are expecting to get this whole bathroom move during the 2 weeks, are you? Is that going to all be done, or just a lot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we need to get the bathroom done.
Yeah, the bathroom will be done. We might get to the flooring.
It might get entertaining tomorrow because we're going to do some electrical work.
Oh,
I don't know much about electrical. That might get real entertaining.
So, I'm worried about the plumbing, and he's worried about the.
I'm not worried about the plumbing. I'm worried about the electrical.
I'm worried about the plumbing. Because but I think on the electrical I can figure it out. But the big thing is making sure I have we got to do the electrical for the kitchen, and we're doing it in phases. So I've got phase 1 and phase 2 figured out. Phase 1 is move the bathroom. Phase 2 is put the pantry up. Phase 3 is figure out what you do with the pantry and the bathroom that we're taking out. So, but we've got to put the electrical in for the lights that are going to be there. So I need to think that through today and tomorrow. So.
Okay. Well, you guys have lots to do. So I don't want to take too much more time, but so let's finish it off here. Your dad does not know how we probably land this plane and kind of finish this whole,
Oh yeah.
thing. You want to explain it, Matthew, what we do here?
You rate your beer from a 0 to 5, 5 being the best.
And well, I've worked years to pick the best beer, so I got to say this is my 5.
It's a 5. Okay, we're gonna give.
This is a process over years, though. Not just a couple of days.
It's really easy, right?
Okay, this may be the first ever 5 rating.
Is that right?
No. You gave Pliny the Elder a 5, I think.
I did. Well, I mean for Corona itself. We actually use, Wayne, somebody created this app where people can go on and rate beers, and I'll just share with you. I won't even bother pulling it up because it's, but I'm looking at the app right now, and right now there have been over 500,000 people who've rated Corona, and on a 5-point scale, it's currently sitting at a 3.09. Boy, they have not. We're going to help move that average up a little bit here. We're going to give it a 5.
Awesome.
We're bringing the average up. Matthew, you and I will maybe kind of average ours together here on this thing we're drinking. It's the Monday Nights Brewing Breakfast Ante Meridiem.
I'm gonna go 425.
425. I'm gonna go 425 as well, actually.
It's a pretty nice beer.
It is nice. I'm surprised. I thought it was gonna be a little bit lighter as a brown ale, not a porter, but it's pretty good and heavy.
It's pretty heavy.
A little on the sweet side. I wouldn't mind a little less sweet, but otherwise it's good.
Yeah, I think I would like to see their like just a plain maple barrel and a plain coffee and vanilla.
Well,
They probably have it.
the other one I got you that you and I are going to drink later is I think it's a porter, and it's in that barrel without all the stuff in it. So it may be a little bit of a.
Okay.
So
That'll be nice.
It'll be nice. Well, Wayne, thank you for joining us on this. I mean, this is like we usually get about how many viewers, Matthew, to this?
12, 3. I don't know. I don't even know the number.
Well, after they see this, they're probably going to be about 4.
Well, mom watches it 4 times.
Yeah,
So-
mom watches it 4 times, so that's another 4.
So that's down to 8.
Yeah, she just wants to check on Matthew, but now that's going to probably go down. She's already seen you, so our numbers are going to crash and burn. But good luck on everything upstairs in the house, on moving the bathroom. Matthew, good choice of bringing your dad, because you are not going to get this done by yourself. No way, no how.
No, I wasn't going to get the bathroom done.
Well, check on us Monday to make sure that we didn't get electrocuted and would be,
We will check and make sure. In the meantime, we hope hey, don't forget everyone who's watching, don't forget to subscribe and this is amazing content. You want to hear more about this. You want to hear whether or not Matthew and Wayne survived the weekend of not getting electrocuted. You got to survive. You got to subscribe and like our channel, right? To find out what happens next. But we hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving, some time with families, everybody's safe. But cheers, guys. Great seeing you, Wayne.
thank you very much. See ya.
Bye.